Hey guys, welcome to Act 7 Mission 2 at Ancient Adversary.
Here, your heart is weak! What?
Mike.
So, at the beginning here, we start off with the commanders and we have to fight our way through this massive army of stuff in order to actually get to the enemy commander Elodie and beat her. So, how we do this is actually pretty tricky considering this is a pretty large map. Like, this is a very, very large map. So, things can vary in random quite a bit. So, I'm going to try and show you a way that'll mostly get you through it. Though, of course, you're probably still going to have to restart a few times in order to get some better RNG or a better positioning in some areas. So to start off, we're going to put Mercia in this mountain. Mercia is going to be your most valuable commander during the entirety of this because of her ability to heal and keep everyone else up to full strength. So after a while, Elodie uses her mind control ability on one of your commanders, but it's not permanent. It only lasts for one turn. But we can actually use this to our advantage. So we're going to move Koji here. The reason we moved Mercia here is so that way she can absorb attack from one of the enemies that comes here and gain her groove faster. We're gonna put Valder in the mountain next to her so that way he can come in and flank if the enemy leaves something around here. Nuru is gonna come in and she's going to come to the side. We're gonna send Emmerich here. The reason we're gonna send Emmerich here is so he absorbs an attack from this archer, because the archer sees that, well, Valder and Mercia are standing on mountains, and Emmerich is standing on a plain, so he's going to move in to attack him because he has less defense. But in doing so, the archer is going to put itself in a vulnerable position. Okay, next we're going to move Caesar here, and we're going to leave Ragna in place. Most part of this is interchangeable, so the position of Nuru, Ragna, and Caesar are mostly interchangeable. But you really just want Koji here, Mercia here, Valder here, and you want your other three commanders to be in this area, so that way when the enemy comes in on this side, we can counterattack. So the swordsman comes in for an attack on Koji. And then he counters and deals a lot of damage back. The dogs come in for an attack on Mercia. She'll also counterattack. Yeah, so the archer is always going for the attack on Emmerich if he's standing on the plains and there's no one else for them to attack who's similar. Okay, so when you see that, they tell you that they're basically going to be the ones to turn next. That's basically a blank check for them to actually put them in range of some pretty dangerous stuff, because on the enemy's next turn, Elodie will use her power and they'll become part of the enemy army for one turn. And when they do that, they actually don't get attacked by the enemy. So what we're going to do is we're going to send him forward to take out these archers.
Let's go, Tenko!
So with those archers down, and in him being in range of the trebuchet, he's actually not going to be attacked by it next turn because he's going to be registered as part of them. So we're actually going to take a fight in this area. So Mercia, we want to keep her as high health as possible, so we're just going to keep her in place. She's going to finish off this dog.
Brace yourself!
With the dog down, we're going to move Valder forward and he's going to attack the mage.
Return to dust.
You gotta take some damage in return, but that's gonna be fine. Emmerich is gonna come down and he's gonna finish off the archer.
This should do the trick.
Caesar's gonna come down, he's gonna attack the spearman. And taking some damage. You really want to get as many first strikes as you can in the opening here. So we're going to send Ragna down and she's going to attack these dogs.
Get out of my way!
And then we're going to try and form Nuru up, because one thing you have to be very mindful of is just being surrounded and overwhelmed. So you want to try and keep them as close together as possible, except for when you need to break them off. Say when they're under the effect of Elodie.
Your heart is weak!
Yeah. Battle stance activate! Owie!
So unfortunately, when your commanders fight each other, they are still giving each other the full damage, and so you really don't want to keep. One strategy that I attempted before was trying to have a commander be weak by the time they get mind controlled. But that's actually a very bad idea, because the enemy doesn't actually recognize the commander they've taken over as a commander. So they'll actually suicide them into your units, and then that'll cause you to fail the mission.
The fell gauntlet.
So whenever you can, try and keep even the ones that are going to attack you from being too low where you die on the counterattack. Okay. So a general rule of thumb for this mission is try and lead with Mercia, because her heals are the most important thing. So we're going to move her as far forward as we can, and we're going to use her to finish off these
Brace
mages.
yourself!
We're going to move Emmerich to the side here, and we're going to move Walder to the side. Okay, so once you come down here, this trebuchet is going to become activated and move up to try and fight you, as well as this golem. So you want two close to full health commanders, or two full health commanders in the area, so that way, two can take out the trebuchet, and two can weaken the golem. So we're actually going to use Caesar to come to the side, and actually we're going to move Caesar here. We're going to wrap Koji around here.
Engaging Iaido stance!
And then we're going to use Nuru and Caesar in order to fight the golem on this side. And we're going to have Valder and Emmerich take out the trebuchet on the other. Again, there can be lots of variations depending on what happens. Like sometimes the enemy gets more decimated by this point. Sometimes they stick around longer. It's kind of depending on who's going in first. So Caesar taking this attack isn't going to be that bad, because once you have Mercia's heal, you should try and use it as often as possible, unless you can predict that you're going to take some massive damage. So the next person who's going to be under the effect of Elodie is going to be Nuru. Next turn, Nuru is going to be the one who's going to be turning around and attacking us. So we want to make sure she's not going to be in a position to threaten us. So we're going to use Ragna to clear out these dogs.
Take this!
We're actually going to weaken Nuru by sending her in for the attack first, before Caesar. We're still going to heal her, but she's going to be a little lesser than normal, because she's going to be fighting from a more vulnerable position. In fact, we're going to let Caesar. Yeah, she's going to come in for the attack first.
Here I come!
Caesar's going to come in for the attack second. Mercia's going to come forward and she's going to use her healing aura.
I'm here to help! Healing aura!
Both Valder and Emmerich are going to come up the flanks and destroy the trebuchet.
Behold the fell gauntlet. I have a spell for this.
And finally, we're just going to kind of use Koji to like shore up our flanks.
Battle stance activate!
And with that, we're going to see what the enemy does.
I claim your heart.
I can't wait!
So Nuru decides to go in for an attack on Emmerich. Again, this can be extremely random.
This should do the trick.
Sometimes, if you don't pre-plan well enough, the enemy can pretty much completely turn the tables on you. And that can be the cause of you restarting. So the Golem decides to go in for the attack on Mercia. She counterattacks and actually destroys the Golem, so that's one less threat that we have to deal with. Meanwhile, the dogs are going to come in. Again, you really want to try and watch Mercia, considering she's the most valuable commander that we have. So when she gets to a weakened state like this, we want to try and use someone else to like fight and weaken enemies for her. So that way she can get the kill and then get everyone back up to full health.
The fell gauntlet.
So the rest of our army is just being attacked by their overwhelming numbers. Okay, and Koji's going to be harassed by these archers, but for the most part there's something we can ignore. Okay. So Ragna almost has her group, so what we're going to do is we're going to move her forward. She can finish off these guys. Yes, Ragna is next in the list. Balder's raised skeleton ability is actually going to be kind of a hindrance to us because the skeletons are a lot weaker than your average, than just us fighting with the commanders. So only use that if you really don't have much other choice. We're going to move Emmerich forward. Balder can come up and he can strike the dogs.
Return to dust.
Gonna move Nuru here to finish off the spearman.
Here I come!
Mercy's gonna move forward and finish off these guys.
I won't fail!
Caesar can actually turn around a little and finish off these dogs. So now, yes, pretty much try and get as much groove as possible when you know you're going toward a massive group of enemies. So we pretty much finished off all the guys in this northern area except for the trebuchet, which we can just ignore because it'll never move to chase us. So what we do, so what we're going to do now is we're going to try and form up and we're going to try and follow the road because splitting up your forces here is actually not a good idea. So the next person who's actually going to be affected is Ragna. So what we're going to do is we're going to move forward and we're going to throw Ragna forward towards the enemy.
I'm gonna break you!
The reason I'm doing this is because, well, not only to weaken the enemy, but whenever your commanders actually get get taken control of by Illity, they lose their grooves. So sometimes you can just throw your groove out because you're gonna lose it anyway. In fact, we need to be thinking several turns ahead. Like, first off, we're gonna use
I'm here to help!
Mercia to heal. Even though
Healing aura!
another thing that happens is when they get taken control of, they get their groove back and they use it on you. But considering our guys are so weak, we might as well just use that. So we're gonna send pretty much everyone slightly forward. We're gonna use Caesar's groove to get us just that little bit further. we're going to use Emmerich, in fact, to throw down an Elder Shield, so that way the damage we take isn't going to be as high as it could be. We're going to send Balder in, as well as Mercia.
Requiem. Enter Oblivion!
So as you can see, Ragna gets her power back and she's going to use it on us. Okay, another important part of this process is to know where you're going to be taking fights and like how badly the fights are going to go. So we're going to try and catch Koji up with the rest of the group. This weakened skeleton is going to be... Yeah, we're going to use this weakened skeleton to try and get Mercia's Gru up. And watch out for this trebuchet, it still can be annoying at this part.
I won't hold back!
Gonna send Caesar forward. We're gonna send... We're actually gonna use Emmerich and Balder to... We're going to use Emmerich and Boulder in order to clear the dog, and then we're going to send Ragna in to attack the dust. So again, you want to be mindful as who has more health, who can take more subsequent attacks than the other person.
Here I come!
And also, sometimes you can just leave weakened units alone, and they'll actually attack you and effectively remove themselves from the equation next turn. Okay, so the next person is actually going to be Caesar, who's going to turn on us. So we got ourselves an archer on the other side of the mountain. They're going to strike our cherry stone. Mage goes in for an attack on Balder. He should finish.
Return to dust.
So Caesar's gonna be the next person to become affected. So one thing we're gonna do is we're gonna send him in forward. We're gonna put because we're gonna be a night range soon. So what we're gonna do is we already know that he's there. So we're gonna put Balder here. We're gonna put Balder here, and we're gonna put some of our highest guys here, our highest health guys here, and we're gonna keep Mercia here. Yes, and one thing that we're actually gonna make use of is the Koji Sparrow Bombs. So the thing you know about Sparrow Bombs is they don't actually draw as much aggression as I originally thought they were. So they of course will attack if they can, but usually with indirect units only, rather than try and strike them with mages, because even if the Sparrow Bomb is killed, the enemy will still they'll still blow up and they'll still take damage from it. So we're gonna send both the Sparrow Bombs to the side, and we're gonna basically keep them in reserve and then use them when we can later. So with that, we're gonna end our turn.
I claim your heart.
So now that Caesar's been used against us, he's gonna go in for the attack on Boulder.
Perish.
Yeah, and as you can see, you can really begin losing a lot of your own health just from your own guys fighting amongst themselves. Yeah, so this is another area you can potentially get held up in too long, and this area can cost you your S rank.
This should do the trick.
Again, the archers are still also going to be harassing us. Okay. So another thing you can use the sparrow bombs for is to block if you really want to go in with another group of commanders, but you're being flanked. So by using the sparrow bombs, we're actually able to limit the movement of the knight. So we're actually capable of going in with Caesar now. You can deal some damage to this trebuchet. And that's going to free up everyone else to move in.
I won't hold back!
Battle stance activate!
You just barely survived that. Okay.
Get out of my way!
So another thing was we really want to get Ragnar's Groove again. The reason why is because we can actually avoid the trigger for another person being possessed if we can get her somewhere around this area. Of course, it's going to be hard, and we're most likely going to have to use it on there, but it's kind of a if you get the opportunity sort of thing. Emmerich is very low, but I believe if we just pull him back slightly, it should be fine. Okay, Volder's going to be attacked by the trebuchet. And the knights are going to come in and strike Nuru. Mage comes in and tries to focus down
I have a
Emmerich.
spell for this.
Swordsman is going to come in for attack on her. So this is what I mean by trying to leave as many low health units as possible rather than a high amount of high health units, because they'll actually they'll speed your time up by basically just getting them out of your way. Okay, so Valder's going to be the next person to turn. So what we're going to do is we're going to, because a lot of our guys in this area are low health, we're actually just going to move back slightly, and we're going to throw an Elder Shield here. We're going to throw an Elder
Cherry
Shield.
stones defend us!
Mercy's going to come down, and she's going to use her healing aura.
I'm here to help! Healing aura!
Caesar's gonna... Yeah, we're actually gonna move the Sparrow Bomb, and we're gonna use... Yeah, we're gonna send Koji and Ragna in order to try and strike from this flank. Koji, Ragna, and Nuru. I'm gonna move Nuru to the side here.
I can't wait!
He's gonna finish off these swordsmen. Yeah, you really want to try and think. And weaken as many of the units as possible when you get the chance. So we're gonna move this barrel bomb to the side. Ragna's gonna
Fight me!
attack these guys. We gotta let Balder go, and he's gonna take some damage first.
Behold the fell gauntlet!
And we're going to use Koji to finish off the knight.
Let's go, Tenko!
Or be very close.
Ow!
And we're going to, again, continuously attack this trebuchet with Caesar. This also helps to get Caesar's groove up. with that,
Your heart is weak!
Yes.
okay, so Voller decides to go in for attack on Ragna.
Take this!
Ragna's gonna fight back. See the Golem, they attack.
Lightning blast!
And my original plan for wanting to use Ragna's Groove was to get her in range of the trigger, but since there's, again, just such a high amount of things here. Also, that's another interesting thing to talk about. So sometimes the mages will actually use a heal on your commander, so that can actually help negate some of the damage they take from the fights they've done earlier. So that's something that you can potentially make use of. In fact, they even restored him back to full health. Okay, so because we're getting choke pointed here, and the thing that we can do is we can come to the side, and we're actually going to use Ragna's shield jump here.
I'm unstoppable!
Because there's just far too many, there's just far too many guys here. So we're actually going to move our Sparrow Bombs away. We're going to use these later. Koji and Mercy are going to try and finish off this golem.
Engaging the Ido stance.
Again, as you can see, in these middle areas, your advance can really stall. It's more so depending on where the enemy decides to move, because there are sometimes you can actually breeze through this area.
Brace yourself!
We're gonna send, just gonna finish this off with Caesar. Again, just try and finish off as many of the stuff, including mages, because as you can see, they won't hesitate to heal their guys. So try and get rid of as many mages as possible. So we're gonna have ourselves another massive checkpoint of enemies just up ahead. Archer decides to attack the Cherry Stone. Mages go for Ragna because she's weak.
Take this!
But ultimately, they're still serving to get her groove up.
Return to dust.
Again, Baldur helps finish off some of the weakened units. So the next person is Emmerich, who's going to be taking control of. So we're going to move Koji forward.
Engaging the Ido stance. Yeah.
And again, the S rank on this mission is also very strict. It's a 19 turns for the S rank. We're currently on turn 12, so that means we have to pretty much go if we're gonna get it. We're gonna turn around. We're gonna kill this archer. I'm actually gonna try and trap Emmerich with the Sparrow Bombs. So again, the Sparrow Bombs, they have a lot of utility. And we're gonna turn around and we're going to finish off these guys with Caesar, so that way he can hopefully get an Inspire for us to use during this middle area. We're even gonna move Ragna slightly ahead because we know Mercy can give her a heal next turn.
Your heart is weak!
Interesting.
So she's gonna take some damage from the dog, but again, it's mostly about weakening their formation by letting their faster stuff come towards us
Cherry
first.
stones defend us.
Unfortunately, he cast the Cherry Stone for the enemy, so that's gonna, it's basically gonna help them continuously block us more. we're gonna move. And we're gonna move Koji, and he's gonna give us some more Sparrow Bombs.
Activate Sparrow Bombs! Ha! Ha-ha!
While Ragnar comes to the mountains.
Take this! Yeah!
Okay, she actually finished off the dogs. That was a good luck. That was a good luck roll. Gonna send Emmerich down so he can be in the healing aura. In fact, we're even gonna send. I believe we should send Balder in to attack the spears. No. Yeah, no, we should move Balder up in order to attack. Around here. Fortunately, we're still going to be the recipient of a mage crit, but it should be fine. We're actually going to save Nero's Groove because, again, it can be a liability. Balder, he can attack here.
Return to dust.
Unfortunately, because that Elder Shield, it really does hinder us. Caesar's gonna come in. It's most likely gonna be with his groove that we're gonna break through here. We're gonna use. We're actually gonna save. We're actually gonna save Mercia's healing aura. We're gonna move one of these Sparrow Bombs out of the way. Probably to here. Mercy's gonna move, but she's not gonna use her healing aura yet. We're gonna save that for next turn. Once we start taking some more damage. The Sparrow Bombs, they can come out of the way. And with that, we're gonna end turn. So spears come in for the crit. They deal lots of damage to Nuru. But we're gonna use healing aura and Caesar's Inspire next turn, so we should be able to instantly just run through here. We let the swordsman come in for attack on Koji. Hopefully that can give him an increased groove charge. Okay, so the mages decide to actually come in for the attack on the Sparrow Bomb. As you can see, the Sparrow Bomb is very tanky and durable, so they even survive that. Yeah, the thing is, because they're not actually going to be attacking for us, and they have a fixed amount of damage, so what they're going to do is, when we use them later, they're just going to explode. Okay, so the Spearmen come in for an attack, and they hit Balder.
Perish.
He's going to counterattack. So we're going to use Mercia's healing aura here. And we're going to follow it up with...
I'll save you
We're
all.
going to follow it up with Caesar's Groove.
Healing aura!
So what we're going to do is we're going to use... probably Nuru. Yes, we're probably gonna go in through Nuru's area. We're gonna use Koji to finish off these swordsmen.
Battle stance activate! Ha! This is my fight! Ha! Yeah!
Guess we're just gonna move these guys here.
Take this!
Or Ragnar here.
Yeah!
He's gonna finish off them. And we're going to throw an attack towards... We're gonna throw an attack towards this spearman here.
This should do the trick.
It's gonna wipe most of them out. And then when Caesar comes in and uses his groove, we're actually going to just run across and try and hit the trigger. The trigger is around the mountain ranges around here. So like this mountain, this part of the mountain here, as well as like the tiles surrounding them. So we're actually going to move Mercia forward so she can help get us that extra
Brace
healing
yourself.
aura charge, which is going to be desperately needed considering we only have 5 more turns to do this. We're going to use Koji. Actually, it'll probably be better if we just use... Yeah, we want, again, we still want to keep everyone together. So I originally was going to send Koji to the south, but instead, what we're going to do is we're going to send Nuru up through the mountains. We're going to make sure this archer isn't in range of this weakened Sparrow Bomb. I'm going to pull this Sparrow Bomb back as well because they're going to still be useful to us later. Nuru's going to hit here.
I can't wait!
She's going to take a little bit of damage from return from the mages. And we're going to use Valder to come in. We're going to use Valder to come in and finish him off.
Perish.
This is
Okay, so
mine.
once you reach that point, you don't have to worry about anyone else getting possessed. So we're going to send Koji up. We're going to use Sparrow Bomb to try and bait the archer, so, and also block Caesar because we want to try and just be as annoying as possible to them with our Sparrow Bombs. So with that, we're gonna have this knight probably come down and attack Valder, and then we can counterattack with someone else. But we're gonna keep our Sparrow Bombs in the area so that way we can try and destroy like a golem or a trebuchet. The thing is, you kind of want to focus on Ellie's army at this point, because once you can get her separated from her army, your chances of actually being able to get her increase a lot. So Mercia's taken a few attacks here. Unfortunately, she took a dog crit, so she's going to be a little bit weak, but she should get her healing aura soon. Again, you can see how they just absolutely swarm me. Even the archer decides to go in for the attack on Mercia rather than the Sparrow Bomb. The knight comes in for an attack on Valder.
Return to dust.
Yes, the golems, the trebuchet, the knights, everything comes at you.
No!
Okay. So once you've reached this part, we're going to... Let's see. I believe it'll be the best thing to use... You want to try and use your more full health guys to try and go through here. So what we can do is we can use Imric plus Koji plus Ragna because they're the highest. Yeah, they're the highest health ones. Ragna almost has hers, so I think we're just gonna pull. We're gonna pull Valder back, and we're gonna actually use his Raised Dead. Considering we're right at the end now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the Raised Dead in order to go deal with this archer. So that way it's not continuously harassing us. And then we're gonna use Emmerich in the mountains. In fact, they're even gonna probably be partially blocked by their own cherry stone. Yeah, unfortunately, that cherry stone is still helping them though. We're gonna use Caesar to strike the swordsman. Yeah, we're gonna use Caesar to strike the swordsman. We're gonna attack with Ragna and Koji. Koji's gonna get his groove again. Then we're gonna send in our Sparrow Bombs. Yeah, we're gonna send in our Sparrow Bombs in order to weaken the trebuchet and the golem, and maybe even kill it. But I kind of doubt it because of the cherry stone. So we can send in 3 Sparrow Bombs. Yeah, you also want to make sure you're not putting your guys in position so that Elodie herself can come in and strike them.
Fight me!
Because that would be the one thing that would probably make this situation a lot worse for you. So we're going to attack. Oh, unfortunately, Mercia is very low because of that crit that happened earlier. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and pull her back because she's going to gain her healing aura next turn anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually pull to the side and we're actually going to try and deal with this cherry stone now by creating a stabber here. So that should deal with that. Now that that's dealt with, we actually can pull Mercia back outside of range of the trebuchet, but she's still in range to actually give us healing aura support next turn. Another thing we can do is by putting, put this here in case they decide to go directly for Mercia, and also be in range to help us next turn. Yeah, the archers, they decided to go for Mercia. That could have been bad if she was hit by everything at once. Ragna has her groove, and she's going to be attacked by the remaining giant. And she's going to be hit by the knight. Okay, but it's very fortunate because we have Ragna's shield jump groove, and Elodie decided to go in as well. Trebuchet decided to attack. And Ragna's getting very low, but next turn there's going to be a healing aura that comes in. Spearman going for an attack on Koji. Unfortunately, Valder is going to be attacked by the dogs, but it's going to be fine considering we can just heal him back up.
Behold the fell gauntlet.
Okay. Mercia can come in with the healing aura.
None shall fall while I still stand! Healing aura!
Ragna is going to shield jump, so she's close to... Yeah, I think Ragna's shield jumping here. It's a shame because I want to actually get a lot of the other guys in there as well, but thing is, Ragna's still pretty low despite receiving healing. So we're just gonna shield jump around here, so that way we hit the golem, the knight, and the spearman.
You're finished!
So most of them are low. We're gonna use the sparrow bomb in order to help us deal with the golem and the knight. We're gonna use Valder.
Perish.
We still have another giant. We're gonna use Valder. We're gonna use Caesar and Emmerich. In fact, we're even gonna actually Nuru as well. Trying to strike them, but we want to try and keep as many guys on our flanks to help us out as possible. Unfortunately, yeah, Mercy has just used her healing aura, so we can't rely on that too much. So what we're going to do is we're going to move forward with Caesar. He's going to strike the knight, and then we're going to try and take out the archer as well. So with Koji, he should have 2 more sparrow bombs from this too. That'll actually help us. Assuming his groove is actually enough for us. As for the spearmen. The spearmen are have pretty much served most of their function. We're still going to keep them in the area because they're still durable enough to tank at least one a hit or help us get through at least one area. But it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard. In fact, Emmerich is, because he's on the flank over here, he's most likely going to be the one to tank the strike from the golem unless it decides to go for someone else. So we have the ballista, they decide to strike Mercia. The golem actually decides to go in for Koji. That's fine because Koji's going to pull back, he's going to use his sparrow bombs for us. Again, like, you got to go through a lot of stuff and it can be very random.
I
So
do what I must.
Ellie decides to stay there and
Battle
strike
stance activate.
Koji. She's gonna be taking some damage in return. Okay, another thing I know about Koji is she's much stronger than your average commander. We even have archers coming for attack on Koji. And even heals. Again, it can get down to the wire because of the sheer randomness of the level. We even have more mages coming in to attack
I have a spell for
Emmerich.
this.
Yeah, very, very chaotic. But once you get to this point, they're getting extremely weak. Unfortunately, we need to end it like very soon. So one thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go back with sparrow bombs.
I'm tougher than you think.
And we pretty much have to kill that ballista because there's a chance that it'll actually kill Koji next turn. So we're going to detonate these 2 sparrow bombs. This is actually going to partially come down to a luck roll, which is unfortunate. We're going to go in with Caesar. It did not work out. So instead we're going to have to try and flank from the side using Nuru, which is an unfortunate waste of a commander in this critical moment.
I can't wait.
So she's going to finish off there. We're going to we're going to move forward with Ragna, so that way she can... Yeah, Ragna's not... There's no way she's going to get her group, so we're going to use... Emmerich.
I have a spell
Here, we're
for
going to use
this.
Emmerich to finish off the giant, and then we're going to attack the ballista with Ragna. Again, down to the wire.
Fight me.
Because it's already turn 17. There's only 19 turns you're allowed to take on this. Mercia is actually going to come in and she's going to strike the golem to try and get some groove up. But mostly it's just going to be for... Yeah, at this point it's just going to be for trying to get Valder also in place. So we want to move Mercia up to get her in place, get her groove up if she can get it. It's doubtful she can. We're going to use Valder to strike Elodie, even though, again, as you can see, despite
Return
being
to
higher health than
dust.
her, Valder still doesn't do that much damage
Hear my
because
song.
Elodie gets buffs. And there's not really else we can do. With that, we're just going to leave. And we just gotta leave everything else there. We got an intern. So either the mage comes down and heals Elodie. Caesar's gonna be struck by the archers. Elodie even targets Caesar
Hear
herself.
my song.
But still gonna be doing some damage to her. That's the thing though. The damage doesn't really get a chance to stack up with Elodie as much as, you know, if you're doing a normal one-on-one fight for her, because she has too many mages healing her. Emmerich is going to receive an attack from the swordsman. Okay. So Koji is pretty much low. He needs to just run away now. Ragna's weak. Pretty much everyone else is weak, but we do have something that can help us. We have the Caesar's Groove. Yeah, we have Caesar's Groove. So what we can do is see who among us has the highest health. And also we pretty much have a victory condition. We have to get through this ballista. We have to strike Elodie a lot of times. We have to strike her a lot. We have to make sure she's not in a position where she can just counterattack us and wipe us out instead. So, actually, we can use an interesting thing here. We can go Mercia here.
Brace yourself.
Finish off these mages. That should give her her groove. Okay, so that's excellent. So Mercia has her groove. Now what we need to do is we need to clear out some of these positions, but it's gonna be hard. Perhaps a Valder skeleton. We need to be thinking about which position is actually the best area to use it. Because right now the time is down, like we have no more time left, and the ballista, because it kept getting healing, is gonna be a lot stronger. So what I think we can do is we can go yeah, because we pretty much have to center around Mercia. So I think, because my math could be very, very much wrong, but I think the best spots to go would be, or the best thing to do would be, move Ragna here. Yes, move Ragna instead here. Finish off the swordsman with finish off the swordsman
I have a
with
spell
Emmerich.
for this.
Caesar moves forward and does his groove on Mercia and Mercia, Ragna, Emmerich. The spearman comes up and they strike. Yeah, they strike the ballista for us. Mercia Mercia probably just stays in place and no. We can move forward with Nuru because she's at full or near full health, so she's gonna strike Elodie.
I am sorry.
So we're gonna take a lot more damage in that fight, but that's gonna be fine. But we freed up a space here, so Mercia is gonna use her healing aura on everyone else.
Healing aura.
So that puts most of us back up to full health. So Ragna is going to flank. Yeah, Ragna's gonna flank
This should do the
Elodie
trick.
and strike her again after Balder does so.
You won't.
Yeah, so once her army starts getting down, there's pretty much very little that she can do.
Perish.
So she's just
Hear
continuously
my
taking hit
song.
after hit from full health commanders, and so we pretty much have to end it next turn, otherwise we won't get our S rank. So we're gonna come in again, and then Ragnar's gonna strike her this time.
I am sorry.
So pretty much wherever position she goes to, she's gonna be compromised because we're gonna be surrounding her on multiple flanks. In fact, I guess we can even throw in the archer here because, or the skeleton here because, again, there's not really much else we can do. It's either to do or die time. In fact, the mage moves away instead of healing, so that's a positive outcome for us. So turn 18. Okay, we have our archers. They decide to strike Ragna and pretty much inadvertently block Elodie in most angles. So now we pretty much have certain things that we have to do. So first off, I guess we're going to use these spearmen in order to well, let's see. Nuru is at full health. Yeah, okay, so we have Nuru at full health, we have Ragna at full health, we have Caesar at full health. No, Ragna's not full. We have Caesar at full health, we have Nuru at full health, we have Mercy at full health. The mage went off to go try and fight Koji. So what we can do is we need to get rid of the spearmen. So that way we can open for another angle of attack. So what we can do is so 1, 2, 3, 4. We could hit her with Ragna here, but it's gonna cost us someone. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So I suppose Emmerich could be used to deal with that. Could be used to deal with the archer. Because we can hit her with multiple full health people. And unfortunately, Balder is the only one who can hit her from that mountain. So I believe this is what we're going to do. We're going to use Emmerich to strike the archers here. Then we're going to use Ragna to perhaps... No, we're going to use Caesar to come in and hit this spearman. So that'll finish them off. Okay, so now that the spearmen are dealt with, Balder can come in on his flank and strike Elodie.
Return to dust.
I am sorry.
Ragna can come in, or yeah, Nuru can come in from her side.
This is my fight!
I am sorry.
And yeah, it would be up to a luck roll if we didn't come up to we didn't use Ragna. So Ragna came in from her flank, and so now it should be a guaranteed kill. Alright.
You and me now.
So again, pretty much nervous and sweating throughout the entire final fight because there's just so much that you have to wade through and you need to be incredibly careful.
We did it.
Alright, so with that, this is probably one of the harder missions of the game. Makes sense, it's the second to last level. So yeah, I mean, it can get really, you pretty much have to be thinking multiple steps ahead with this one. You pretty much need to know and understand where you're going to be taking fights. You need to understand where that trigger is that turns off the mind control. And most importantly, you need to understand that Elodie herself is not playing by the rules. She is way stronger than all of your commanders. So it takes multiple strikes plus getting rid of her support mages in order to actually finish her off. So again, you don't feel bad if you have to redo this level a lot in order to get the same outcome. But that's all I really have for today. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.